新しいクラウンが誕生いたします。16代目のクラウン。日本の歴史に重ね合わせれば、それは明治維新です。ご覧ください。新しい時代の幕開けです。
Toyota's CEO just revealed a groundbreaking new water-powered engine that could shake up the entire car industry. Instead of following the electric trend, Toyota is taking a bold step with this unique technology. The reason behind this surprising move is still in the shadows. Could this be the invention that changes the way we think about cars forever? We will explore Toyota's revolutionary engine and see how it will transform the future of driving. The car that runs on water. Alright, let's take a moment to chat about Toyota's really cool approach to cutting down on carbon emissions. Toyota isn't just jumping on the electric car bandwagon. Instead, they've gone down a unique path by developing an engine that runs on hydrogen. You see, hydrogen is a pretty common element found all over the universe, and it packs more energy than any other regular fuel, except for nuclear options. What's neat about burning hydrogen is that it only leaves behind water. Yep, no nasty emissions harming the air. Before we dive deeper into Toyota's hydrogen engine, there's a startling truth that's even more groundbreaking than you might think, and this won't be the last thing that will leave you speechless. Hydrogen is super flexible too. It can come from various sources, can be kept for a long time, and it's easy to move around. You might not realize it, but hydrogen's already doing a lot of heavy lifting around the world. It powers things like buildings, cars, forklifts, ships, and trains. This shows us that our world doesn't have to depend solely on gasoline. And here's where it gets even more interesting. Toyota has designed this new engine that turns hydrogen into electricity using what's called a fuel cell. Take, for example, Toyota's Corolla Cross H2 concept car. It's equipped with a turbocharged 3-cylinder, 1.6-liter engine that uses hydrogen. How did Toyota manage to make this happen? Well, this was their big step into changing the game in the electric vehicle market. With this breakthrough, they're expecting to see some major shifts in how electric cars are made and used. Looking ahead, Toyota's making sure their cars are built to be safe, with strong tanks that securely hold the very flammable hydrogen. This isn't new for them, as they first used this tech in their Mirai model. The Corolla Cross H2 concept car can travel about 300 miles on just 5 kilograms of hydrogen, and the only thing it spits out is 50 liters of water. That's way better for the environment than the carbon dioxide that comes out of traditional cars. Toyota's also doing something special with the engine's design. They've got this exhaust manifold that's placed right on top of the engine in this 8-to-1 setup. This isn't just for looks, it makes the car sound really distinctive. A sharp, high-pitched tone that's unlike most cars you hear on the road.
It's not as quick as a Tesla.
When you compare Toyota's hydrogen engine to typical electric vehicles, a couple of big benefits stand out. It can go for longer distances on a single fill, and topping up the tank is as quick as filling up at a gas station. Just zoom and you're done. This engine design also cuts down on the need for rare materials like lithium and nickel, which are essential for making batteries in most electric cars. Although this car still has a battery, it's a lot smaller than what you'd find in other electric vehicles. As of the end of 2023, Toyota was testing the Corolla Cross H2 concept in the real world, driving it on snowy roads in northern Japan, and it was getting rave reviews. Toyota's hydrogen combustion engine is really shaking things up in the car world. It's one of the greenest engines available, only emitting water vapor. It's efficient, refuels in no time, and doesn't need as many rare materials. Everyone's excited to see how these tests turn out. If all goes well with this hydrogen tech, the Japanese government is hoping to have about 200,000 fuel cell vehicles on the roads by 2025 and aiming for 800,000 by 2030. But it won't be simple. For this to work, Japan needs to beef up its network of hydrogen refueling stations. Toyota's new engine is offering a fresh outlook on green transport, but it's also presenting some new hurdles to jump. The hydrogen combustion engine is impressive for a bunch of reasons. One of the main perks is how environmentally friendly it is. Using hydrogen means the engine doesn't let off the harmful emissions that you get from normal gasoline engines. Plus, overall, hydrogen is just a cleaner option for fuel. Now that we know how Toyota's hydrogen engine works, let's look at the challenges they need to overcome to make this big idea a reality. The struggles behind Toyota's hydrogen dream. Using this engine also means Toyota can stick to familiar manufacturing processes and car designs, which is great for them because it means they can easily slot this new engine into their existing lineup. However, it's not all smooth sailing. There are some challenges like the setup needed for hydrogen production and the infrastructure to support it. While the engine itself is eco-friendly, the way we get hydrogen right now isn't always that green. If car makers want to push these vehicles big time, they need to figure out how to make hydrogen in a more sustainable way first. Another snag is that hydrogen fueling stations aren't as widespread as gas or electric charging stations, since hydrogen cars aren't as common yet. Also, the complexity and cost of making and maintaining hydrogen combustion engines are pretty high hurdles to clear. At first glance, this engine might look like any other, but it's got this cool twin water spray system. This setup, along with the electronic control management, adds a layer of complexity, pushing up production costs for the automakers and maintenance costs for the owners because of the specialized parts needed. Now, imagine if Toyota decides to mass-produce this engine. They've still got to convince folks to buy into it. Right now, this engine is in the development and testing phase, getting prepped for possible production. Even if it passes all the tests, it's going to take a while before you see it in cars on the road. By diving into the development of this hydrogen engine, Toyota is really committing to leading the charge in eco-friendly transportation. Along with its lineup of electric and hybrid models, this new hydrogen engine shows just how serious Toyota is about expanding its range of green vehicles. We often chat about how this engine could really change the game for electric vehicles, EVs. But what makes it stand out from regular engines? Let's explore Toyota's exciting innovation further, the 1.6-liter 3-cylinder turbo engine, which is a key part of Toyota's hydrogen-powered projects. This engine powers the Corolla Cross hydrogen prototype and delivers awesome performance. It merges traditional car engine designs with modern technology, but stands out from regular engines. Famous for its engineering quality, this engine is similar to the one found in the GR Yaris, a car celebrated for its strong performance. Toyota needed to revamp its engine to work with hydrogen instead of regular gasoline. This was no small feat. They had to rethink how they built engines from the ground up, leading to plenty of buzz and curiosity. People were wondering, can Toyota really keep their engines running strong with hydrogen? The short answer, yes. And here's how they did it. Hydrogen behaves differently than gasoline. It's like comparing apples to oranges. Because of this, Toyota developed a high-tech system that injects hydrogen directly into the engine under high pressure. This was a huge shift from the usual way they handle fuel. By doing this, the engine can use hydrogen efficiently and still deliver the power we expect from a car. But what does this mean for the engine's power? Surprisingly, the results are impressive. The 1.6-liter engine produces power and torque that you would normally get from gasoline engines. This is partly thanks to a nifty device called a turbocharger, which helps the engine perform better. However, since hydrogen is lighter than gasoline, the engine needs to use more of it to get the same energy. Toyota's engineers didn't back down from this challenge. They used their skills and creativity to make it work, and it looks like they've nailed it. The hydrogen engine is not only efficient but also great for the planet because it emits very little in the way of harmful gases. Toyota made sure every part of the engine, especially the turbocharger, worked perfectly with hydrogen. Because hydrogen is so different, they had to adjust many parts of the engine. One of the biggest perks of using hydrogen is how efficient it is. It turns out that hydrogen engines can do more with less, especially when pushed to their limits. This means less fuel used and less harm to the environment. As we dig deeper, Toyota's mix of hydrogen and electric engines shows how they're planning for a cleaner future, though it won't be easy. Toyota's plan for cleaner cars. Using less fuel leads to fewer emissions, which is great news for the planet. In fact, the only thing coming out of the tailpipe when you burn hydrogen is water vapor. That's right, no nasty pollutants. This is a big deal for Toyota because it helps them meet their goals of not adding to the pollution problem. As Toyota looks to the future, they're not just sticking to one plan. They are mixing it up with both hydrogen and electric tech. They could have kept things simple by focusing on just one, but they decided to tackle both. Why? They really believe in the power of hydrogen. Now, you might be thinking, is hydrogen enough to get Toyota to their goal of no carbon emissions? Well, they're not putting all their eggs in one basket. Alongside hydrogen, they're also big on electric cars. They're even making battery electric vehicles, which is different from other companies that are all in on electric. Toyota knows there are some hurdles with electric cars, like how far they can go on a charge, how long they take to charge up, and the environmental cost of making and tossing out batteries. To sort this out, they offer different types of engines: hydrogen, plug-in hybrids, and full electric. This way, they can fit more people's needs and handle various driving conditions. Their big plan is all about getting to zero emissions. But Toyota gets that one plan won't work everywhere. Different places have different resources and rules, so in some spots electric cars might be the way to go, especially if there's lots of renewable energy available. But in places where they can make hydrogen from renewable sources, using hydrogen in cars might be the better bet. But it's not just about the cars. Toyota is also trying to make its whole operation greener. They're really serious about reducing the carbon footprint from making cars. To hit those low-emission targets, companies are thinking about how they can reuse materials and not waste resources. They're also investing in ways to make energy from renewable sources. There's still a long road ahead to get to a world without carbon emissions, but every little bit helps. Toyota's approach is about more than just car engines. It's about changing how we make and use energy. They're committed to tackling these big challenges. By aiming for zero emissions, Toyota is not only looking to clean up its act, but also to bring some unexpected benefits to the environment. Let's dive deeper into what makes hydrogen cars special and see how they stack up against hybrids when it comes to being good for our planet. Here's something to think about. How do hydrogen cars really compare to hybrids or plug-in hybrids in terms of their impact on the environment? We need to look closely at what makes hydrogen cars stand out. Regular cars burn gasoline and spit out a lot of carbon dioxide, which is bad news for our warming planet. But Toyota's hydrogen cars, they don't release any carbon dioxide when they run. For anyone doubting if we can really get to zero emissions, it's definitely possible. It all comes down to how hydrogen burns. When you burn hydrogen, it mixes with oxygen, and the big result? Just water vapor. That's the only thing that comes out, which means no harmful emissions. Getting rid of carbon emissions from cars is a big step towards lowering the overall carbon footprint of the auto industry. But let's not forget about hybrids and plug-in hybrids. These cars use a mix of gasoline and electric power, and while they're better than regular cars, they still use some gasoline and emit some carbon dioxide, just less of it. Hydrogen engines might just be the future of clean driving. If we can figure out a way to produce hydrogen in an eco-friendly manner, using sources like wind or solar energy, then driving could become completely emission-free. However, we need to think about the whole picture here, including the environmental cost of the vehicles throughout their life. You see, making hybrid and plug-in hybrid vehicles isn't so straightforward. It requires batteries that use rare earth elements. Obtaining these elements and producing these batteries can really take a toll on our environment by releasing a significant amount of carbon into the air, which is definitely a problem. Even with the challenges of hydrogen engines, Toyota's push to make their cars greener and more efficient opens up new possibilities for the future of driving. Hydrogen cars ready to race. Despite these challenges, Hydrogen engines skip many of these environmental hurdles. If we manage to make hydrogen using renewable energy, it could potentially cause far less environmental harm than manufacturing batteries. This makes hydrogen engines an appealing option from an environmental standpoint over their entire lifespan. But the big question is, could hydrogen really be the fuel of the future? It's a possibility, especially if we can sort out the production issues. It turns out that hydrogen combustion engines are actually much more efficient compared to traditional engines. This efficiency becomes crucial when it comes to heavy-duty tasks. Hydrogen engines can deliver power comparable to hydrogen fuel cells, which are typically used for lighter duties. However, fuel cells tend to drop in efficiency under heavy stress, whereas hydrogen engines thrive under such conditions, proving perfect for high-demand applications. Facing the huge challenges of climate change and dwindling natural resources, innovations like Toyota's hydrogen engines provide a glimmer of hope. They offer a cleaner, greener way to get around without sacrificing the performance or convenience we're accustomed to. These engines operate similarly to traditional gasoline engines, thanks to the unique characteristics of hydrogen as a fuel. Unlike gasoline, hydrogen burns rapidly, enabling quicker engine responses, a crucial aspect of driving performance. This quick response significantly affects the driving experience. Drivers accustomed to traditional engines expect a certain level of responsiveness, such as quick acceleration and the robust roar of the engine, reminiscent of the power one feels with a Dodge Charger, for instance. Interestingly enough, hydrogen internal combustion engine vehicles, high-key fees, can deliver these same thrilling features. Even with cleaner fuel, Toyota's hydrogen-powered cars still provide the exhilarating drive that enthusiasts crave. This includes the sound of the engine, which is a major part of the driving enjoyment for many car lovers, along with the robust power it delivers. But here comes an intriguing question. Can these engines perform on par with traditional engines? Toyota has actively tested this technology in the demanding realm of motorsports, including racing a hydrogen-powered vehicle. This not only demonstrated the technology's robustness, but also its capability to meet high-performance demands. Toyota's hydrogen vehicles maintain the excitement of traditional driving, while hinting at a future dominated by water-powered engines. In such demanding scenarios, HEVs have proven that they can match traditional cars in terms of speed, agility, and endurance, all critical aspects in the world of racing. What's more, hydrogen engines have also shown they can produce horsepower and torque on par with gasoline engines, which is quite a notable achievement. By modifying traditional engine designs to utilize hydrogen, Toyota has been able to achieve power outputs that match or even surpass those of regular engines. This marks a significant technical triumph, showcasing hydrogen's potential as a powerful alternative fuel for high-performance vehicles. There's also quite a bit of curiosity surrounding whether hydrogen-powered cars can provide the same level of driving enjoyment as gasoline vehicles. While opinions might vary, the initial feedback seems promising, suggesting that they indeed offer a similar level of enjoyment. Those who have had a chance to drive Toyota's hydrogen vehicles report that the experience blends the familiarity of conventional engines with the excitement of using a clean, sustainable fuel. By developing vehicles that retain the performance characteristics of regular internal combustion engines, Toyota is effectively narrowing the gap between current automotive technologies and future possibilities. But this story doesn't end here. There's much more to explore. Up until now, Toyota has invested heavily in the development of its hydrogen combustion engine, which many believe could revolutionize the electric vehicle (EV) industry. Yet, Toyota is also pioneering an even more groundbreaking engine, an engine that runs entirely on water. Although this idea might sound like something out of a futuristic novel, Toyota is earnest in its efforts to make this a reality. Before we delve deeper into how a water-powered engine might operate, let's first get a handle on the basic concept. The idea of using water as a fuel source might seem far-fetched, but Toyota is committed to making it happen. Water, known chemically as H2O, is composed of two hydrogen atoms linked to one oxygen atom. To harness the energy potential of water, we need to separate these hydrogen atoms from the oxygen. Luckily, there's a process called electrolysis that allows us to do just that. Electrolysis uses electricity to split water into its fundamental components, hydrogen and oxygen. Could Toyota's water-powered engine be the key to a cleaner future? Or is it just another fleeting idea that won't last? Could it even face opposition from big oil companies trying to protect their profits? Tell us what you think in the comments. And don't forget to like and subscribe for more.